right. Good evening, everyone. Ideally, oh no, of course, busted. All right, hold on. Hold, please. Despite my best efforts, it's still busted. All right, there we go. Take 3 of this too much. All right, there we go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting season of OMEC. We are back with another fantastic season of multi-class racing. Kicking it off this week, we are at Monza, Temple of Speed, and then later, in just a moment, we'll go to Mugello after a 30-minute sprint here. We got a single LMP2 class, as well as the split of GT3 Pro and AM, similar to all the previous seasons. Our rotating class this season is going to be that LMP2 split. All right, let's go. Let's see if I can ride on board with a couple drivers before they get too far underway as I try to figure out, make sure everything's still going right. This is going to be the first season without the limited fuel setup to make it easier on our LMP2 drivers who only get 40 minutes of fuel as it is. So we'll see and make sure that it's all going the right way and I'm not losing my mind here. Good evening, chat. I'm flying solo in the booth this week. I'm Fettuccini. I don't think I introduced myself. I was in the middle of trying not to crash the stream. Tim Schaefer waking up the tires, cold tires for the LMP2s. The LMP2 as well as the GT3s have that new tire model. For those of you who aren't aware or are a little bit out of sorts with it, new tire model is a little more like real life. Oh God. All right, there we go. Now I'm hopefully not blasting out the mic as badly. The new tire model, like I said, requires you to put some heat in those tires for them to get the maximum amount of grip, much like real life. Real quick, make sure I got everything else going right. Race info. You see the lovely full configuration of Monza there in the country of Italy. The GT3 Pro and AM class, single LMP2 class. We're in season number 12, round number 1. We had the shakedown last week. I was on a plane when that happened. So forgive me for being a little bit above board here. All right, Tim Shaver, coming around the last part of the lap. We'll ride along board. It's a pretty fast lap here for the LMP2s. Let me see if I can hit my buttons. We're going to hop into the roll bar. As he comes down the start-finish line, give you guys an idea of what a lap around Monza will look like in those LMP2 cars. Thankfully, pretty interesting for the drivers. It's flat out from basically the end of, I think that's Curva Grande into the first chicane. I would love to know why I've decided to deep six all of my information on the beautiful circuit that is Monza. After that, we end up going once again flat out. It's basically a bunch of flat out sections with a couple of chicanes in between them. That's the too long didn't read of Monza circuit. We're into the second chicane as we get through what is known as Variante. And we have the Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2, a pair of corners. One just a little over 90 degrees, with a bit of rounding to both of those. Technically has a name, but it's the nice, lovely back straight Curva del Seraglio. I'm going to absolutely butcher this as much as possible. Then we get into Variante Ascari, 3 parts of it, 1, 2, and then we have the third one right here. Most of it flat out. You break into the first part, and then you're just kind of pushing through in these prototype. And then you're onto the back straight before Parabolica. The final corner of Monza. It's a short lap. It's a short lap here in Monza. You are, at most, just kind of hanging out, doing what you can. You spend a lot of time on the throttle here. So, as we get through, Tim Shaver putting that first time on the board. We hung out with him. Let's hop over to the GT3s. See if I can grab one of the inboards of the new Aston Martin. There's a whole bunch of drivers driving that new Aston Martin. Hey, speaking of drivers driving new Aston Martins, Marcus Osborne. We'll hop outside here. See, he comes down to the Parabolica. See if he can get a lap in with Marcus as he gets ready to get going. And that lovely cow print, not checkers or wreckers. I don't know what their name is now. We'll dive on board. GT3 lap will look unsurprisingly pretty similar. Big thing you'll note is that the braking markers are going to be much different than previous, than we saw in the prototype. In that LMP2, as we get into the first chicane, the first variante, I guess is what it's called. And then we get to Curva Grande, which is here, and not Curva Parabolica, which I said the first time. So, as I just get a little... trying to get a feel for where I need to be putting the microphone sensitivity. Once again, I had to fix my entire PC in a weekend. So, all right. We get through Lesmo 1 and 2 here as I'm talking about all this. A fantastic set of corners, especially in the GT3s. This new Aston Martin sounds so pretty on the inside. With the backfire / when you're shifting, going up or down. Lap times between the two classes, pretty small. You see the fastest from the LMP2s here, Mitch Buenaventura in that 140.008 to Justin Hall's 147.75, 7-second difference. So especially on these colder tires, we might see a little bit of awkwardness here between these two classes, but I think it'll be just fine. Gets through Oscar 1, 2, and 3 as we ride along with Marcus Osborne for a lap in the GT3 category this evening. And I get the feeling, so I'm going to bump it back up just a smidgen. Probably too much, but I won't. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Let's go through Curva Parabolica once more. We get done with a lap here. The second lap for Marcus. That is going to be an improvement for him. Bumping him up into 5th in class and 23rd overall, including all 3 classes. A bit of a fantastic group of drivers. I want to make sure I have everybody in on that championship standings, or sorry, the timing tower for tonight. One more driver sneaking in at the last minute. Oliver Belanger hopping in last second. I want to make sure I get him categorized successfully, because that'll put him in 2nd in that GT3 Pro category. All right, so let's take a look at these standings as we get wrapped up here. We're going to look at a couple more drivers as they're wrapping up laps here. Michael Doyen of that Veterans United Porsche duo. Wrapping up his, I believe, 2nd attempt at a lap. First one was a 147.85, currently 4th in GT3 Pro, just outside the podium. And we're going to see if he can improve here. Comes on the Curva Parabolica at the end of lap. We'll see if he's able to improve those numbers at all. And he's coming around a little wide there on the exit. I'm not sure if that'll be counted better for him or not. It does improve him, though. Up faster than Ken Duval in that GT3 AM category. Still 4th in class, however. I wonder, can I do the thing that I used to do? Maybe not. We'll see. All right. Michael Doyen complete. Patrick Cantrell, I think, also getting done with his 2nd flyer. We'll see him come across the line. I don't think that's going to be an improvement for him. Sorry, he came across the line a little while ago. But bring that car over to a halt in just a moment. We'll see those grid results. Oh, I wonder if I have that set up. I'm sure I don't. All right. We're learning what things I don't have set up for this PC, and that is going to be my usual mute of mic on my device to control. I don't want that. I want... Let's see if I can find it here. In the meantime, you're going to watch just a little bit of where everyone's at. I believe we have Chris Kraus wrapping up a lap here. I think he just finished his first. And we'll see if he gets an improvement here on his second. Nope. Hotkey. Nope. All right, I have to go find it. Go find my mute unmute plugin, which I don't have. Oh no. Oh well. All right. Well, I'm working on that. Doing a little bit of it live. Marcus Osborne, I think, also still trying to at least get a little bit of feel for it. So seeing where he's at. Come back around. This is his second flyer? No, I think he's just turning laps for the fun of it. All right. That is going to be the end of qualifying. Much love with these good leagues to race. Absolutely, Josh Hartless. Sad. No, you are out here. I was going to say, sad to not see you, but you are out here. I just, apparently I'm blind. All right. Let's look at this grid for the first race of the evening at the Temple of Speed, Monza. Mitch Bonaventure is going to lead us off alongside my former booth host, Kevin Hayes, in that front row. Ian Baker and Luke Plaisance round out row number 2, and 5th is going to be Tyler Roberts alongside Calvin Collado, Sean Roberts, Tim Schaefer, Patrick Cantrell, Joe Evers are your top 10. John Schwartz, as well as Nate Sides, are your top 12 as I have to go hit buttons. Let's see if I can do it in a way that is awesome. The last 3 drivers on the LMP2, in the LMP2 field today, is going to be Josh Hartless, Jason Larson, apparently myself. I didn't set myself to watch, so. You also get Fennicini, also in 5th place there. Going to make for a awkward front row. Justin Hall going to lead off the GT3 Pro alongside Olivier Belanger. Jesse Olsen and Michael Doyen are in row number 2 there for GT3 Pro. GT3 AM's first driver is going to be Ken Duval. He'll be alongside Matt Markley, Kevin Medina, and make sure I got the rest of the field here. As alongside Andre Saba, Chris Wells, Kyle Orovitz, Wesley Waddell, Chris Kraus, Tom Leeson, Jordan Oliver, Marcus Osborne, Adam Dahl, Charles Rotes, Shane Brown, Richard Costanza are going to be all 34 cars on the racetrack this evening. Make sure I got all of my buttons pressed just the right way. Let's see if I can get onto the gearbox. I can. Can I get into a blimp cam? I can. You can see, look at all that foliage. That won't help us try to watch the race here in just a moment's time behind that. We'll hit this button. Gridding has completed. We have the lovely iRacing pace truck leading us off. And it'll get underway. We'll see the rest of the field slowly form up behind that pace truck as they get these cars getting underway. Try to get a little bit of heat in the tires. You'll see them start to wiggle here as they do so. Justin Hall going to give a little bit of gap between himself and the beginning of that the beginning of the GT3 and the LMP2 field. Look at where Justin Hall is. There's Justin Hall alongside Olivier. Got a bunch of cars being labeled as crashed, but I think that's just the game, or the sim doing sim things. So, all these cars, look at that, furiously weaving, trying to see what little heat they can put into those tires before the start of the race. 14 LMP2s and, not 12, 14, 33 minus 14. 19? Yeah, 19. Jesus. 19 GT3s are going to be taking to the grid tonight in Monza. I've never done this before, apparently. As we get going, set to go green here in just a moment's time. We're coming around the Parabolica final corner of the racetrack. Mitch Bonaventura going to lead off alongside Kevin Hayes. That pace truck is going to dive in. There it is. And now we wait for that green flag to fly, and that will be the indicator that we are going green. You'll see those lights turn red. I think, sorry. Yeah, there we go. There's the green flag, and we are going underway. Oh. It's been too long. I've apparently taken one too many weeks. Kevin Hayes getting a great launch off the run down to turn number 1. We're going 3 wide in the back of this LMP2 field. Oh, lock up of the brakes further back. Joe Evers is going to be in, trying to stay out of the way there. He'll take it through the runoff. Justin Hall and Olivier going to run it 2 wide through the first 2 wide, pretty much all the way back throughout the GT3 field here. As we get it going underway, Marcus Osborne, Charles Rotes, again, labeled as crash, but I don't think that's true. Let's see here. Everyone else getting through it pretty much unscathed. Joe Evers is going to have the unfortunate bit of trying to get through this. Joshua Harless, as well as I believe we have Kelvin Collado. A couple of them have the yellow dot there. That yellow dot on the side just means they have to serve a slowdown. It's an easy way for us to watch it on the broadcast side of things. You can see that much easier now. Patrick Cantrell being listed as going off track here. Cause him to drop behind John Swartz. John Swartz up 3 positions since the start of this race. Joshua Harless, also one of the big movers in the LMP2 field. The late dive there from Ian Baker? Tyler Roberts. Oh, Tyler Roberts, I think, abandoning that line, trying not to get in the way of other cars as he gets back going the right way. Let's see. I don't want to drag him in just yet. We'll drag him in a little bit in between the races. In the GT3 field, as we look at the tail end of those cars, they are pretty much as they were. Most of those cars doing pretty well. Charles Rotes having an issue there. I think Tom Leeson also having a bit of an issue. But Jesse Olsen and Justin Hall right on the tail end of each other. I saw a good number of cars spin at one point or another in the practice coming up and out of this corner. So we'll have to see, keep an eye on who does that, if anyone. Mitch Bonaventura right on the heels of Kevin Hayes at the front end of the grid. But further back, I'm going to take a look at this battle here, because pretty much from Sean Roberts and Kelvin Collado, Sean Roberts and Kelvin Collado, along with Ian Baker, as Ian Baker and Sean Roberts still run 2 wide. I see a big number of cars listed as crashed further back in the field. Ooh, they run it 2 wide, but that goes over the curbing. All able to keep it from out of it an issue here. But John Schwartz going to capitalize on all that in that Mercedes livered LMP2 and walk away with it. Getting the best of both worlds there. Take a quick look back. I have Michael Doyen, Kevin Medina, and Kyle Orovets labeled as crashed here. We'll see what happened here. Runs 2 wide through here. Keeps it tidy. Oh, and then he spins it. Gets on the power too early. Keeps it out of trouble. Oh, but then there's the pile up, as I believe that was a couple other drivers messed up with that. Chris Wells also involved in that. Is that who I just saw get into the front bumper there? No, separate. Maybe separate? Maybe not. We'll see. Gets out of the way. Oh, but backs up to not hit Michael Doyen there. And that is how that happened. The rest of the field, thankfully, going the right direction. Justin Hall trying to get back around Olivier Belanger and the head of the GT3 field. Ooh, wide line from Olivier opens up the door for Justin Hall. It's going to be a drag race down the front stretch, both front engine cars. So this is going to be, I think, pretty much a classic drag race. The two of them going to run 2 wide. We'll see how far they want to run down the start-finish stretch here to the first variante, as they love to call it here in Monza. Will be, still running 2 wide. Justin Hall eventually gives up that fight there to take the racing line. But we'll see if he can pop back out to get a better run, because Olivier still had not the best exit. And we'll see how these packs are forming up. Those two in a kind of race of their own. Jesse Olsen not far behind. As these two duke it out. Late on the brakes there for those two. Don't want to pull away from this too early, but I also need to look at this battle for the lead between Kevin Hayes and Mitch Bonaventura. They swapped places. See if I can find that pass here. It's pretty recent. And let's see here if I can find it once more. Down into turn number 1. Mitch Bonaventura getting the better exit there in that red, silver, and black AWS machine. Is how that happened. Sees them still running in that direction. We're in those 2 positions as we get into Parabolica once more. Coming out on the start-finish stretch. Mitch Bonaventura running a great last lap, the most recent time by. Getting an even better lap done in this time. 141.35 to the 141.91 of Kevin Hayes. Luke Plaisance, as well as the rest of the field, pretty much improving their times pretty exclusively. And let me see. Oh, that's going to be a big off track for Kevin Hayes here. It's going to put him, I think, outside of the draft range of Mitch Buenaventura, and that gap is going to open up, I think, just a little bit further. Nick Terrell jumps to pits. I wonder what happened there. Or did he just not start? Well, whatever happened, I didn't see him hop in. Maybe he just hopped in late. I'm guessing that's what happened. So he just hopped in late. So let's stick him into that LMP2 category. Make sure he's all nice and put in. So there we go. I'll see him join everyone. All right. That makes sense there. Taking a look further back in the field, John Schwartz, as well as Ian Baker, Sean Roberts, Patrick Cantrell, these four still duking it out alongside the likes of Tim Schaefer and Sean Roberts. I think that's a Nick Terrell in the middle of all that in that mystery machine. I almost said Mercedes machine. Mystery machine. Liveried LMP2. Let's see if I can get everything squared away here. I'm trying to keep up with all of the action happening as this race continues on. Only a 17-second gap between the final spot of LMP2 that are on the lead lap and the P1, P2 of Olivier Blanger, as well as Justin Hall and Jesse Olsen, all three of which now, pretty much, including Jesse Olsen, who's only 6/10 behind these two drivers that are still duking it out for the lead of GT3 Pro. GT3 AMC's Ken Duvall still holding on to his pole position. Still a good solid 4 seconds ahead of Chris Wells. Joshua Harless finds himself off track. Oh no. Keeps it out of harm's way, though. I wonder what happened there. Let's take a quick look back. We're going to look at a couple other incidents that are happening. Oh, just got on the power too early and then put it through the gravel, causing a spin. Chris Kraus having labeled as crashed in that Corvette. Makes the entry. Hits the curbing. Oh, I wonder if nope, he just parks it. Cool. Then Kyle Orvetz in that Stellarum Motorsports liveried Corvette. We got so many Corvettes today, which is so cool. Oh, just slips it out of Lesmo 2, and that causes a havoc for a big portion of the field, including Marcus Osborne and Adam Dahl and Charles Rhodes. All three of those drivers, that's awful sauce, Motorsports. Having to take evasive action to not hit Kyle Orvetz, but he keeps it out of harm's way. Mitch Ventura 2 seconds up the road now from Kevin Hayes. You can see that gap there happening between all those drivers. Another 2 seconds between Kevin Hayes, Luke Plaisance, who has Kelvin Collado only 8/10 back. Sean Roberts and John Schwartz duking it out. Let's ride along with Sean Roberts and see how he's trying to keep up with Jonathan Swartz as we get into the first third of the race. We're only 8 minutes in of this 30-minute race. Ooh, it's going to be a big moment there. It's going to catch up. Sean Roberts now 3/10. John had to keep that car from bouncing over the anti-cut curbs, which are very, very, not very, but very brutal. All right. That's how that's working. Oh my gosh. The lens flare. Oh, as you can see, dust happening up ahead as these cars dip their wheels into the grass. Most of the time, keep it out of them. I want to keep this whole pack of cars into consideration as well, though. Patrick Cantrell leads a train of cars just behind them through the Lesmo, as you can see as we ride along with Jason Larson. All 5 of them hanging out in front of Jason, or excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no, all 5 of them, including Jason Larson. That makes 6, hanging out in front of him. Hop onto that nose cam. Get a little bit of a different angle here as we ride along. A little further back in the LMP2 field. All right. We're a third of the way through. I think it's a perfect time to go bother someone. If I bother someone, let me see. Gonna bother. Who's in the middle of? Who's not in the middle of a fight right now? Okay, Marcus Osborne. Well, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see if I want to pull him in. Just keeping an eye out. Another battle of a litany of cars. Charles Rhodes, Adam Dahl, Michael Doyen, Shane Brown, as well as Tom Leeson. Tom Leeson is a little bit further back. But this gaggle of cars right along. Kyle Orbetz finds his way to the front end of that stick. Good job. See how he's fighting off the likes of Adam Dahl as well as Charles Rhodes, both the awful Sauce Motorsports cars right behind him. I love the duality of that front engine and rear engine GT3 duo. Once again, back for the team championships. And this battle there. Matt Markley finding himself under fire from Andre Saba. Andre Saba moving from the Porsche last season to the Mustang, going from the rear engine to the front engine, and still showing that he has GT3 Pro pretty well and under control there. Great lunge up the inside. Is going to see him take that spot. Oh, but he's immediately got to spin it. Matt Markley has evasive maneuvers as he tries to keep that car out of harm's way. Andre Saba, an unfortunate moment there, but he gets that car back going the right direction. Further down, currently 6th in class, as you can see there, out of the 7 cars, and the car behind him is going to be Michael Doyen, another car with an incident. Tyler Roberts falling back to the tail end of LMP2 with his own issues, just behind Joe Evers, who has made his way back up to the tail end of LMP2. All right, looking through all that, seeing what else we can come back to here. Kelvin Collado, Kelvin Collado getting around, or trying to get around Luke Plaisance. Two of them just, Kevin Hayes labeled as crashed. What happened to Kevin Hayes? What did I miss here? We'll find out. Looking at Kevin Hayes there. You can see him as he comes into the corner. Oh, just locks up the brakes. Forced to take the runoff. Goes through the automatic penalty. Comes back out, still in second. 2 seconds behind. Wow. Still managing. Fantastic time here for Kevin Hayes. Mitch Ventura in a commanding lead so far. Kelvin Collado, Luke Plaisance in the battle there for third in the final podium step of the first race of the evening. And looking back in the GT3 field, once again, I'm going to dive back into this battle for the podium. These 3 drivers still not far from each other. Justin Hall, Jesse Olsen, as well as Olivier Belanger. Or Blanger, I guess, if I want to be really American with it. But Olivier, I kind of feel like it's not quite that. But these 3 cars still within a second of each other and within 2 seconds in total. If we look at that gap there from the beginning. See if I can hop over to the interval. Oh. Let's swap it over to... Oh, excuse me. That game. Interval. Marvelous. Charles Rhodes, labeled as crashed. What happened to Charles Rhodes? Oh boy. Got a great shot here. Go into the second variante. Second chicane. Oh, you can see it right there. Just loses it. Powered by the hot dog crew. That car gets going back the right direction without too much issue. Little crunched front end, but otherwise not awful. We'll have to see how that shakes out here in a little while. Joe Evers taking the fight to Tyler Roberts and Jason Larson. Tyler Roberts coming out the lead of that. Black flag for, I believe that is Joe Evers, for probably the incident limit or failing to serve a penalty. I didn't see the penalty come up. Nate Sides, however, also has to serve a slow down penalty, I believe, is what that yellow flag means. Yes, it does. Penalty served. Pretty easy enough to do for these drivers. All three of these guys, Tyler Roberts, Joe Evers, Jason Larson, all diving in within a second of each other as well. Further up the order, Kelvin Collado, Luke Plaisance are now joined by Jonathan Swartz, who is still making his way up the order. Probably our biggest mover of the evening in LMP2 so far, for the first race at least. The GT3 field still separated by only a second, but this is going to see... Oh, that is a Jesse Olsen. Nope, that is not a Jesse Olsen. Excuse me. That is a Shane Brown. There we go. They both had red Sudi liveried cars, so like... Apologize for getting them confused. There's Jesse Olsen, still in that battle for the top three. Oh, he's not. He doesn't have a Sudi win at all. Why did I think he did? Because they're both red. That's my problem. They're both red, and therefore I can't read. All right. So, LMP3 traffic working its way around the GT3s finally. Trying to keep an eye on where Mitch Buenaventura is. He is coming through. Just getting into Ascari, about to get past Tom Leeson, which means the rest of the GT3 field is soon to follow. A little over halfway. 14 minutes still left in the race this evening. Let's see. As we hop back further in the field, kind of looking through a few different cars that are in battles. Andre Saba finds his way back into the fight with Chris Wells, who's now at the lead of GT3. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. In front of Chris Wells, who has the lead of GT3. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what happened to Ken Duval, who was leading that class. Looks like he had an issue earlier on. Let's see if I can find it. Michael Doyen and Kyle Orbetz as well. Andre Saba pushing pretty hard, trying to see what he can get. If he can get further back into the fight. Only 4 seconds behind Kevin Medina, who is the next driver in class for Andre. But remember, if you're new to the format, new to the series, GT3s are scored as a combined class regardless of where you score or where you finish in your respective subclass. So GT3 Pro or GT3 AM, you're still scored depending on where you finish in the GT3 class overall. So if you finish really well as a GT3 AM driver, you get a lot of points. And if you don't finish well, you don't get a lot of points. So pretty simple. Take a look here. What's happening as we get into the final 10 minutes, just a little bit over, with 12 minutes left to go. Kind of looking at the team roster, seeing who's where. We didn't have any huge movers that I can see. Stellar Motorsports only has one entry this season. Sudi also notably absent from that team championship standings as they sit for the moment. We'll see how that develops over the course of the season. As Andre Saba gets around Chris Wells there. We'll see what the rest of the field's doing. Mitch Buenaventura getting caught up by traffic will put him back into a fight with Kevin Hayes. And then once again, we have 5 LMP2s here. Let's see if I can hop on with Nate Sides, or excuse me, not Sides, Nick Terrell, Nick Terrell. Well, there he was. He apparently decides he wants to blink, which is fine. I'm just going to ride along with him, see how all these LMP2s are getting through traffic. We get through I don't want to say Tommy Leeson, but it's Tom Leeson. Unless he decides he wants his name to be Tommy. But. Ooh, big bounce over the curbs there for Nick Terrell as he's going through the second variante, the second chicane. We'll see here. Justin Hall finds his way back into the fight. 2 tenths between himself and Olivier. Has a great run there into the final corner. The draft here, super helpful for these cars as they get going. You see a lot of front engine cars this season, even more so than we saw last season. You see that Aston Martin, a new front engine vehicle that also utilizes No, that also uses it's a front engine vehicle. I already explained what that is. I was going to say utilizes the front engine for words, something like that. Either way, I don't want to come bother. Let's go bother the lead. Nope, still can't drag people. Well, I guess I'm not doing anything. Cool. I guess I'm not doing that. I'm gonna have to go bother them if I want to bother them. You know what I can bother? Who I always love to bother. I'm an adult. Let's go hop into that. See what the now the Awful Sauce pit crew is doing. Especially because he's in the middle of traffic, which is the perfect time to bother him. Adam Dahl. There's a voice here. I picked the perfect time because I figured you were just getting through traffic to come bother you. How's the race going? Seems like it. Mm-hmm. It's caught bits of that as we were looking through all the traffic and events happening throughout this race. Saw Kyle spin. I think he spun twice now. I think it is, unfortunately. How's traffic? How do you like in the LMP2 traffic? No. Fair. Very possible. Very nice. I'd say Mugello has, I think, a few more chicanes and other curves that'll make it a little bit more unique for certain. So. Understood. Well, I'll make sure to come back so that I can hear you, I guess, scream. Not intentionally, but, Super. Yes. We'll see. So, all right. I will let you get back to your race here. Let's go find out what happened to Nick Terrell and Kelvin Collado. So, good luck.
Hey, thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Toodles.
All right. We are free, and I realize that once again, everything is still getting worked. All the new issues of the new system. We're working out 3 wide into turn number 1. That's definitely not going to work. What happens here? Oh my God, they solved it? Oh, and then they unsolved it. No, that's what happened. Nick Terrell trying to avoid the contact there. A bunch of cars getting wrapped up in that one. The car looks a little worse for wear, but otherwise still moving the right direction. See what happened. He's still going. So fantastic stuff there. As they're all moving the right direction still. Kevin Hayes, Mitch Ventura trying to get through the last of traffic. Gotten through most of it in these 23 minutes that have elapsed. 7 minutes left to go. Mitch Ventura having the worst exit here. Gonna have to figure out how he can keep Kevin Hayes behind. Kevin Hayes makes the look for the inside. As these two will go just 2 by 2. Look at that. Look at how close they are, too. On the brakes. They go 2 wide through the first variante, the first chicane. Stick it out, get it done. A little bit of a touch there. But Kevin Hayes is going to work his way through. We'll see that order swap for the moment. Mitch Ventura, however, getting the draft, meaning he has a better run here. It's going to be 2 wide once again through the second chicane. Mitch gives him a little bit of space. And we'll have to figure out where he can get that pass done again. Only 6 minutes left as we are 24 minutes in. Tim Schaefer labeled as crash. I think he just had a off track here. We'll see what happens as he gets through the first part of this. Yeah, locks it up. Oh, and then just takes the runoff to avoid running into anybody else. And that is why it gets labeled as crashed. No incidents there. Just a little bit of a slowdown, which he has already served. So, with that, Kevin Hayes getting the distance, trying to rebuild a little bit of the gap there between himself and Mitch. Mitch hanging out 3/10 behind as we get into these final couple laps. Olivier and Justin Hall finally getting over a second away from each other. Jesse Olsen now within a second of Justin Hall. This battle for the podium in all three spots still very much to play for. As we look at those three drivers, they come down to the first Variante as well. And we are not a stone's throw, but a minute away. Oh, too wide for these two drivers as they come down. Both lock up, both run over the curbs. Mitch abandons the corner, going to have to serve a slowdown penalty at some point, but probably, and Kevin Hayes doesn't have to, but I think we'll get the off track for it. Sean Roberts duking it out with Luc Plaisance. Plaisance, I think, has to serve a slowdown penalty. Manages to keep it going the right direction, though. But he's going to end up holding up. I think it's Kevin Medina. Yep, right there amongst all those drivers. Has two of them go back at it. Looking at these two. Tyler Roberts. Oh, Tyler Roberts not having a great race there. Ends up off track. What happened? Did he brake too hard? Let's see. Let's see if I can figure this one out real quick. As we get into these closing minutes. Oh, had just too much rotation. Not enough brakes. And we'll see him take a little bit of a spin. Gets that car driver going back the right direction easily enough. Kevin Hayes, Mitch Ventura cutting through Ascari in the final closing laps. 4 minutes left on the clock. Probably about 3 laps time based on where they are on the track right now. Sorry, including this lap, it'll be 3 laps time. Yeah, I can't drag people in the booth. All right, well, I'll see if I can fix that. So, with less than 3 laps, with just 2 laps to go, we'll come over the start-finish line with, just under 3 minutes left. I think we'll have 2 laps. These two have to figure out who's coming out on top and who's coming out in second. Olivier, Justin Hall, once again finding their ways back into a battle with each other as well. We'll come back to a battle for the lead of LMP2 here. Looking at as well a couple other positions. Cal Orvetz, Tom Leeson, Adam Dahl, all within a second of each other for the spots just off the podium in GT3 AM. See those drivers wrap up their final probably couple laps as well. Tyler Roberts coming in to serve a black flag penalty, which will see him drop down the order. A great start from him goes sour as he ends up in 14th in class. Mitch Ventura, Kevin Hayes still trying to duke it out. Let's ride along with Kevin Hayes, see how these last couple of laps are on board. As we get into the, see if I can remember my track map names, the Curva del Seraglio, and then Ascari. Fantastic complex of corners, 3 of them to be precise. All over the curbing, gets it done, keeps it tight and tidy. Hangs out with Mitch Ventura for once more going to Curva Parabolica, the penultimate time, as I believe we'll hit that last lap flag next time by. We'll see if we can spot Barney with the flag as we get through here. See all the other individuals with the flag bearers. Don't see a white flag this time. Interesting. Oh, because we have over 2 minutes. So it is 2 more laps. Ooh, interesting. Okay. 2 more laps to get the job done. Oh, late on the brakes. Oh, my gosh. Kevin Hayes locks up trying to not hit Mitch Ventura. Forced to take the runoff. This might spell doom for Kevin's attempts at a victory. But he has a little bit of traffic on his side as they try to catch up and get past the leaders in GT3 Pro, which still hasn't happened yet. 2 of them still duking it out. Jesse Olsen going to split the difference. Kevin Hayes trying not to run into him. Oh, he gets nice and tucked in. Keeps out of the harm's way. Half a second between himself and Mitch Ventura as we get into the closing stages here. The battle between Justin Hall as well as Olivier. About a 1 second difference. You can kind of see it there on the screen. We're going to hang out with these 2 drivers. See how these final couple laps go. See how I can spot the gearbox. Maybe not the gearbox. Let's do There we go. Oh. Kevin's got a great run through Escari this time by. See how close the two of them get. Patrick Cantrell labeled with the slowdown penalty, which he gets served. And Jason Larson's going to be the last of our drivers to serve the black flag drive-through. By the end of this lap is going to be the goal there. Kevin Hayes getting real close into Curva Parabolica. See if we can spot Barney waving the white flag. Let's check flag. Oh, that was it. I thought he had one more flag. All right, well. Turns out Barney just can't wave for the flag, and I learn nothing. Mitch Winter takes home the win alongside Kevin Hayes in P number 2. Jonathan Schwartz is going to be, I believe, third. Yeah, with Sean Roberts, Luc Plaisance rounding out the top 5 there. Olivier Boulanger going to take home the win there. Justin Hall in second. Jesse Olsen in third for your GT3 Pro podium. Chris Wells leads home. Wesley Waddell, as well as... Wesley Waddell looking for the late move to try to take over the win. Doesn't quite get it done, but close. And Marcus Osborne's going to round out this third spot on the podium for GT3 AM. All right. Pretty fantastic final bit of racing here. A few more cars coming home to finish the race. Adam Dahl leading home. Tom Leeson, Kyle Orbetz, as well as Jordan Oliver. Those 4 drivers. The 2 Stellarum Motorsports drivers, or Stellarum Motorsports liveried drivers, getting that job done. Seeing who else has left to finish. Shane Brown, Charles Rotes, both going to come home as the last 2 cars looking to finish. Or excuse me, Chris Kraus, I think, is going to try to finish. Coming out of Parabolica? Yep, coming out of Parabolica. The last driver to take home the checkered flag this afternoon. Evening, 1 or 2. Gets the job done. So, I have to, in theory, this is now where we have interviews. We're going to watch Chris Kraus just demolish and lose control of that car as it comes to a sliding halt in the gravel outside of Curva Grande. So, in theory, we can have some lovely conversations here at some point here in the near future. I can bring in people from specifically the interview room. All right, sick. Chris Kraus, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Fettuccine, thanks for having me, dude.
Absolutely.
I'm glad to be back for OMEC.
Yeah.
Honestly, this was a really good combo.
Mm-hmm.
Even though my race didn't go all that well. I had some personal hardware issues. My brake pedal decided to blow up like the second lap. So I had to. That's what the tow was, and then it just there's no recovering from that. There's no recovering from that, unfortunately.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Yeah, but it was awesome racing. Awesome racing. I'm glad to see that we had a really nice full OMEC field in both classes.
That we did. 15 LMP2s and then 33?
18 GT3s.
18. 32 total. Okay.
Yes. But yeah, no, just wanted to say hey and looking forward to this season, man.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing you back on track here in just a little bit of time when we get back to Mugello.
Yeah.
So,
but I'll get out of your hair unless you want me to stick around.
I mean, you see the people lining up in the interview room, so I have.
Well, all right. So should we talk about the race? What do you see out there?
I mean, I saw a fantastic battle between Kevin Hayes and Mitch Buenaventura for the lead of LMP2 for literally almost all of the race. The two of them, I think, fought it out for all of it. GT3 Pro, Olivier Boulanger, Justin Hall, Jesse Olsen, all 3 of them still pretty much within a second of each other as well for the start of the race. And then still to the end of it, the podiums, I think, were decided on the final laps between these two drivers.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. I'm glad that we've got a lot of a lot of contenders already.
Absolutely. I think it'll be a very tight-knit season.
Yes.
So
That's what I like to hear. Good.
those are the races I caught. Did you see anything worthwhile that we need to go back and look at?
I think my race start was pretty good, I'm gonna say. Going from 12th to 5th.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely a little suicidal. I guess a little reckless.
Oh, just a little.
Yeah, but no, I mean for the most part, I really liked what I was seeing. I saw that Michael Doyen got spun in the first chicane sometime in the race, and I don't know how that happened honestly because it looked like from my perspective it looked nice and clean. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
believe
know. I think it was him and Jesse were side by side going into it, but I don't think they touched.
No, I don't think they did either. Because I remember looking at it and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can go pull up that replay. Because I'm sure we could look at it.
I'm sure we could.
Shane Brown. No. Michael Doyen. It was before you jumped to the pits.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see if I can. Bop. Yeah, it was when they were side by side. Let's take a look at it here. And then as they do that, they.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, yeah, I think he just gets on the power too hard here, trying to avoid hitting Jesse Olsen.
Yeah.
And then spins it. Yeah, you can see where that rotation is.
Yeah. But even though like it was still very respectful racing. I was very everyone was it was a great start to OMEC. To the race season.
Cool bad drivers got.
Oh, and then you gotta love that self-healing bumper.
Yeah. Self-reattaching.
Instant pit crew out there. So that explains it. Because I was pulling away from him. He was trying to draft me. I was pulling away from him on the straights, and that explains it. He had a little bit of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is that race. So
yeah. But no. Honestly, big shout out to you though. Thanks for broadcasting. I know how much of a it's a lot of work, man. Like you're doing great. I remember doing it with Marcus for a couple seasons, and it's a fun time, but it's exhausting. Everyone's like, no, it can't be that hard, but dude, it's rough. So yeah, huge kudos to you.
Absolutely. I just had to rebuild an entire PC, not intentionally for this, but for everything else as well, and that was fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it though.
Mm-hmm. It's always cool. So
yeah.
All right, we got a few minutes before the next session opens. I'll let you get back to your side of your racing and all that jazz.
Cool. I appreciate it, man. Thanks again, and
absolutely,
it was awesome catching up.
Likewise, I will see you and Mugello in just a few minutes time, and good luck with that race.
Hopefully with a better result. Hopefully with a much more competitive result.
Hopefully no more brake failures.
Hopefully not. Yes.
So,
anyway.
All right.
Thanks, Ben.
Absolutely. Take care.
Yep. Bye.
And that was Chris Krause, who came home a bit of ways down the order in 11th in class, 33rd overall as a result of the brake failure. So, as we're getting the next session rolled over, I'm going to pop us over to a BRB screen, give us a little bit of a break as we dive between the two. Stick around. Hold on. Let me give you some results. We haven't gotten there yet. Let's do the results. Will you display some results for me? Nope. Okay, there we go. All right. It only took a couple things. So, Mitch Bonaventura takes home the win alongside Kevin Hayes in P number 2. Jonathan Schwartz is going to come home P3. We got an interview. Hold on. Charles Rhodes, welcome to the broadcast booth. I was about to go over the finish of the race here at Monza. How was your race? We saw the unfortunate spin there at one point.
Yeah, But we did get the safety bonus. That's the benefit.
Heck yeah.
It was a good
hear.
race. Good to be back.
Absolutely. Are you looking forward to Mugello here in just a little bit of time?
Yes. I think I'm unsure what my finishing position was last time we raced here, but I think I could go on to do better this time around and put up a good result.
I think so. I think last time we were here was before the rather large amount of improvements you've done over the season. So.
Hell yeah. I know definitely before I hang my gloves up for this season, I gotta at least get another podium.
I believe it. I believe this is the season for your second podium. If not a class win. I think you got it.
Yeah. I think I definitely have a win because we have Spa on the schedule this time around, right?
Yes.
And it's dry, right?
I believe so, unless they decide to pull the wool over our eyes and change things around, which I don't think they will.
If it is dry, I think the odds might be in my favor here. Because I think I had a P4 finish last time around at Spa.
I believe you did. And it is an endurance event on the 21st of October.
Yes.
So we will see how you fare there. No rain on that one. Rain is going to be on the Red Bull Ring, Hungaro Ring sprint weekend just before that. And then the final weekend of the season at Le Mans.
Hell yeah. Le Mans is going to be interesting. I've actually never done that track ever.
Ever. I'm looking forward to it. I think we have the grid to make that a very fun track.
Especially with the prototypes out there now.
Yes, I think that'll make it for a very interesting time. I think the GT4s are just a little too slow. I think the LMP2 fits in so well there.
Yes, I agree.
So, all right.
Hell yeah.
The new session open yet to allow me to join International.
We even have a celebrity presence at the Sauce GP team over here.
Oh, we do? Who's the celebrity presence this weekend?
My wonderful girlfriend, Jenna, is watching from inside the cockpit.
Well, that'll be...
We had the pit crew install a second seat.
Perfect. That's how you do it. So hopefully she has just as much fun with the second race here at Mugello.
And Gurmeet.
Get us and Gurmeet, because we had a DoorDash drop off at the team.
Fantastic. Yeah. All right. Well, I will let you get back to racing and getting prepped for the
good talking to you, Fen.
Likewise. I'm excited to see you out the rest of this. Excited to see you out on the track the rest of this season. I think it'll make for some pretty good racing. So good luck at Mugello, and hopefully to see you back here on the podium soon.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Take her easy. I'm gonna kick you back to the party chat.
Bet.
Or maybe I'll just get you the interview room because I'm allowed to move those things. I can move you to focus. I just can't move you to party.
I'll just jump over there because I'm on my phone.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Hell yeah.
Take care.
See ya.
All right. With that, we're going to hop over to the other race tonight. I know we're on a black screen. Let's see if I can get the BRB screen moving. All right, we're doing it live because I think I don't have anything. Oh, not what I wanted. We're doing it live. Forgive me. We're going to be super profesh. This is also not my settings. This is not what I want. Everything got moved. All right. Oh, no. We already got set up. Sweet. All right. Welcome back to the second race of the evening. We're going to Mugello, and cold tires are going to kick around for one Patrick Cantrell. As I figure out what the heck everything does. All the buttons do button. That's good. Let me, I guess, reload overlay, because it's deciding it doesn't want to load. Classic iRacing live timing things. As we get underway here. Show results. That also shows nothing. Cool. Good. Yep. Session state. None of that shows. Nice. All right, well, let's relaunch this cool thing called iRacing Live Timing. And we'll see if that solves our problem. All right, I don't need that. Chris Kraus still driving there. Patrick Cantrell also driving there. Tom Leeson. We're going through a little bit of... All right. Let's see what I can do here. I don't care. All right. Okay. Refreshing it on the other end caused it to fix itself. Chris Wells, one of many drivers out here doing a little bit of practice before we get underway. We are 6 minutes into it. I'm going to step away for just a moment, grab a little bit of water. I'll be back. So enjoy the dulcet tones of the race cars as they get ready to go racing here at Mugello for another 30-minute sprint. In just a few minutes' time, we'll be right back. No, I'm just now catching up on messages. Thank you. We're doing it live. We're getting everything caught back up. So, but thank you. All right. And I am back to help provide commentary to the rest of this evening's endeavors. Before I took a quick step away, Mitch Bonaventura took home the first win of the season, just ahead of Kevin Hayes. Speaking of, have our camera, our virtual camera guy currently selecting him, as well as a few other drivers as we get through the last closing minutes, 5 minutes of practice, so the drivers can get a feel for what this track is. Mugello, a little bit more of a technical circuit than Monza, which is more of a power circuit. There is a track map. Autodromo Internazionale del Mugello is its full name. Also in Italy. It's in a very different city. You see Joe Evers take the runoff there. This track full of names as well, pretty much for every corner. And we'll see them. Oh no! Unfortunate. As we also see a couple of the drivers go for another spin right behind my overlay, showing the map. Once again, the fuel restriction that we had in previous seasons has been lifted. So you'll just see the raw driving ability. It's going to be the big thing there. So, with just over 4 minutes left in practice, we're going to watch a couple more cars, try to get their laps in. We'll go for a ride along like we did last track when we get into qualifying. So 10-minute solo quality, 2 laps for each of these drivers plus their out lap to set a time in their grid position. And once that's over, we'll go through our lovely grid order. I made sure I didn't accidentally put myself as a driver this time. So you won't have a rogue Fettuccini trying to also be a driver this evening. And we'll just, or in the second race of this evening, it'll just be the 15 fantastic drivers trying to put in laps as they get through. Much more interesting circuit when it comes to multi-class racing, trying to pick a line here for those faster classes. Patrick Cantrell Jason Larson finds himself on the gravel runoff as the other drivers try to make their way through it. Tim Schaefer, Chris Wells amongst those. Trying to get a feel for all the new liveries I see this season and who is attached to all of them. Right now, top of the timing charts is Kevin Hayes. Ian Baker only a couple tenths behind. Luke Plaisance rounding out that podium spots in the LP2 in practice. We'll see, of course, how that order changes in qualifying and then after half an hour of racing action. Mugello is one of my favorite circuits. It's one of the first ones I did, one of the longer endurance races I think I've done, mostly out of a desire to get more into endurance racing. I did the first round of the Creventic series both years here that I've been on iRacing, so it's always a big home to me for endurance racing, multi-class style stuff. I did it once in an Aston Martin GT4 when I was meant to sign up for a Mercedes GT4, so that was a bit of an interesting adjustment. We ended up just trying to said, heck, we'll just run it with it, as we see Joshua Harless find himself in the barrier. Closing minutes of practice here. One of my favorites, personal favorites for racing. It's, I feel like, just technical enough and a little deceptively so, but it's not overkill. And once you get the flow of it, it's such a fun ride. You can learn so much from it. So. Marcus Osborne learning what happens when multi-class racing gets involved here. Oh, that's a car going sliding off. Probably, I believe it's Joshua Harless again. Yeah, so you see him rejoin there. Unfortunate stuff. But we'll see him get back going the right direction. go from there. Nate Sides, that Mystery Inc. machine. Not the Mystery Inc. Not the Mystery Machine. Mitch Bonaventura amongst our other drivers there. Finally putting in the fastest time. Dethroning Kevin Hayes by a 10th and a half. At 140.20 or 0.195, excuse me, to Kevin Hayes' lap time there. Practice comes to a close, and we'll see them get set to go racing here in just a little while once qualifying begins. Mitch Bonaventura selected. I'm getting the feeling he's going to put in a rapid lap time here, so I was going to take you through what a lap around Mugello feels like for both the prototypes as well as the GT3s. And the answer is a bunch of them currently working their way out. So we'll see a little bit longer lap time, but not by much. Actually, I don't think it's actually that much different at all. Now think about it. 140s, I think, all the way around. Mitch Ventura going to lead off this charge of drivers that all bail out of pit road. You won't see them all at once because they're all on their own individual, basically their own individual laps for qualifying. Solo quali, for those who are uninitiated into iRacing, is a very easy. You have the whole track to yourself to set the best lap time. You don't have to worry about other drivers or other cars getting in the way. It makes for a very easy and very consistent driving experience in terms of qualifying. Basically a small mini time trial where you just try to set the fastest lap around there as you can. So we'll see how this feels. We're watching Mitch Bonaventura get ready to set a lap here, get a feel for it, get some heat in the tires. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I'll repeat it again. The tires here on the new tire model for the LMP2, a little bit nicer than the GTPs, but same as the GT3s. You require a little bit of finesse to get them up to temperature. As you see that, what happens often is that it will understeer. We saw with Mitch Bonaventura just there when the car is not properly, or the tires are not properly heated on that car. And see him come around the final corner. We'll dive on board onto that roll bar here as we get through the final one. Nice, lovely final sweeper, just like the Parabolica, but in the opposite direction. And then we'll see him come across that start-finish line. It is a little ways. There's this nice big bridge here. And that'll be it just before it. And that lap has started flat out all the way up to turn number 1. It's this lovely sweeping 180-degree right-hander. San Donato is the name of it in this map that I'm looking at. And then we get into the first, a pair of chicanes, nice wide 90-degree corners. Luco and Poggio Secco, 2 and 3 here. Back on the power as soon as you get done with turn number 3 here. Turn number 4 and 5 right here. Materassi and San Lorenzo. Another pair, like the second chicane. They're called chicanes. They're really a lot wider than most chicanes can be. And then it's a little bit of a game of throttle management here throughout the second half of the lap. Casanova into Savelli, and then Arrabbiata's 1 and 2. 1 is right here. 2 is going to be right up just ahead. And then it's, again, little feather of the brake, just enough to get the rotation in, back on the throttle, then back down into the brakes as we get into the final sector of the lap. Scaperia, and then Pelagio. Going to be 10 and 11 of these 15 cornered track. The third of 4 great wide sweeping 180-degree turns. Corintaio, and then Biondetti 1 and 2. Is that fast kink right there? And then finally, certainly last but not least, this lovely left-hander that we started out the lap on goes really wide to get that power and rotation in. See how that affects his lap time. That almost looked like that car was on lock trying to get that rotation in. And see how he comes across the line. Luc Plaisance getting dethroned by Kevin Hayes. That lap was good enough for 4th from Mitch Bonaventura. We'll see how he fares in just a moment, but we're going to dive over to the GT3s. It's going to look a little similar, but it's going to look a little different as he goes wide. Oh no, Mitch is not going to be able to set a better lap time. Puts it into the wall. But cars that are out on a lap here. Matt Markley, I think, is on his second flyer. Find someone who's on their first flyer to then watch a second flyer of. Jesse Olsen coming around that final corner to get a lap in this Mercedes GT3. One of my first loves in the endurance world as well. It's going to be that that GT3. Not Jesse Olsen. Though I actually don't know much about Jesse Olsen to say that, whether I'd be the same sentence. Does not get a lap in. I think this is his first time lap coming up here. Once again, diving into turn number 1. It's a little more off-throttle lift and coast kind of through these corners and utilizing that engine braking for rotation. Gotta be careful on that exit though, which can bite you in these cars. Another car that requires those temps of the tires to be properly warmed up to get the most out of the lap. And then we get into this lovely technical section, even more so in the GT3s, I feel like, than the prototypes. You got probably a little bit of braking here to get that rotation done instead of just relying on engine braking like you would in kind of the prototype. And push it all the way out. You want to use as much of that curb as possible without touching the gravel on that exit there. Let's see, getting through Casanova and Savelli here. So many, it's all these lovely left and right pairs of corners that make up most of this lap, and I think it's a fun exercise in learning how many different ways those cars or those corners can all be taken. Now through Biondetti 1 and 2, the fastest chicane of the 4 that are on this track. 2, 3, 4, or 5, I guess, technically, if you want to include that one. We'll see him do that, coming around once more through that final corner and over the start finish line. See if this lap time counts for this driver. Only a few haven't set lap times in. See him fly over the line there. See if that time posts. It does. Puts him up into the lead on his second attempt there, and he's going to pull it to a halt. Get that time in. Happy with his result there. Tyler Roberts going to find himself on the idea, or hopefully an improvement here as he gets done with his second timed lap. Nick Terrell getting a good lap time in now that he's in the driver's seat. Tyler Roberts sitting, shoot himself up into second. We'll see where Nick Terrell will land himself at the end of his second lap. Joe Evers as well, trying to wrap up a flyer as we see him coming out of the final corner over the start finish line. And he dives into pit lane. No improvement there for Joe Evers. Jason Larson just wrapping up his final lap as well. He's going to bring that car to a slow and steady halt. And we'll see Olivier kind of dethrone Jesse for the lead of GT3 Pro. Tom Leeson definitely getting a better lap time than this one. Marcus Osborne coming in fourth. Some good laps for all of those drivers as they are getting themselves set up to go racing here in just a moment's time. Seeing if Nick Terrell has an improvement here, as well as the other drivers. Kelvin Collado, Jonathan Schwartz, both, I think, outsetting laps as well. We'll see their first time laps come in just a moment. As we see him go through that final curve. Boutine. But he does too much rotation. Sees him fly out into the gravel. Kyle Orovets, one of the many drivers trying to get a time posted in here. This is towards the back of the end of the lap. Biondetti numbers 1 and 2 there for the final corner as well. Buccine. We'll see him if he is able to make that lap, make that final corner. Another spot I've seen a good handful of drivers whiff, or not really whiff, but like get the rotation done too quickly was in those ones as well. Kelvin Collado as well as Jonathan Schwartz both trying to get a lap in. The last two of our drivers who have yet to set a time as we get through the closing stages of qualifying here at the second race, sprint race of the evening. Oh, Jonathan having a big moment there before going into the turn number 12, the second of the three great 180-degree open hairpins almost styled corners. See where we end up here in just a moment's time. As Jonathan comes down the start-finish straight to post a lap time, he gets it in. A fantastic 138. I believe that is a .52. So just behind Kevin Hayes. I get the feeling that if Mitch Buenaventura was able to set a better lap time, he would be right up there with them. But we'll have to see both of them improving a couple of seconds over their practice times. So we'll see there. Oh, Nick Terrell struggling on that final lap there. Qualifying will come to a close. We'll see these grid results for where these cars will be starting on the race grid. Kevin Hayes is going to lead us off alongside Jonathan Schwartz for row number 1. Tyler Roberts and Luke Plaisance are going to take up row number 2. Nick Terrell, Ian Baker are going to be your top 6. Patrick Cantrell, that was apparently the hardest thing for me to say in the world. Patrick Cantrell, Nate Sides, Mitch Buenaventura, Sean Roberts, Jason Larson, and Joe Evers are your top 12 for LMP2. Got a couple more there. Let's see if I can get them in all in one. Tim Schaefer, Kelvin Collado, and Joshua Harless are going to be your 15 LMP2 drivers for tonight. Olivier Boulanger going to lead off GT3 Pro. Jesse Olsen in P number 2. Justin Hall going to take on the bottom podium spot of GT3 Pro. GT3 AM led off by Marcus Osborne. Kevin Medina is going to be alongside him. Kevin Medina is going to be alongside Tom Leeson, I believe, who's going to be a second in GT3 AM. These GT3 AM drivers are going to be rapid this season. Matt Markley coming alongside Andre Saba, Wesley Waddell, Ken Duval. As I jump, I jumped the right amount. Okay, Chris Wells, Michael Doyen, Chris Kraus, Shane Brown, Charles Rhodes, Kyle Orovets, Adam Dahl, and Jordan Oliver are the 33 total drivers and their cars respectively. See them all line up here. You can see the grid form up. You can see all 33 of these cars get ready to go racing. We'll see the lights pop on in that pace car there. We're looking at specifically the driver in kind of the pole sitting position as it is right now, but we'll see the rest of them all head off in here in just a moment. We're looking for a couple more drivers in the GT3s to finish grading up, and then we'll get underway here. We'll see that pace truck pull away. The rest of the field slowly going to follow suit. We'll see how they fare as they get ready to go racing here at Mugello. Such a fun track. We see the 15 LMP2s, almost said LMP3s, but that's a different league. LMP2s lead their way off. Olivier Blanger going to lead off the GT3s here as they get ready to go racing as well. You see Barney the Flagman going to lead off all of these drivers. See if I can hit the Blimp 2 cam. See Tyler Roberts, Nick Terrell, all kind of formed up in a line. Jonathan Schwartz is going to be alongside there. They're all taking the opportunity to speed up because Jonathan should be alongside Kevin for the start of this race. The pace truck getting underway here. The GT3s giving a little bit of space between themselves and Calvin Collado, who is at the tail end, the Joshua Harless and Calvin Collado, who are at the tail end of the LMP2 field. And with that, we're looking to go racing here in just a little bit of time. These cars are all forming up. Kevin is making friends with the pace truck, as Kevin is wont to do. A fantastic sunset race happened for us this evening. If I remember correctly, we're going to see a whole host of cars take to this green flag here as I'm looking. Adam Dahl. Adam Dahl, no. Did you actually crash? No. You're fine. Okay. I think it's a sunset race here. The reflections Make this look almost like a, not quite an anime, but something pretty akin to it, if I had to be picky. Message retracted. Oh no. Well, Jocelyn, I hope you're having a good night all the same, even with the message that was retracted. Probably going to say something super kind. I'm going to put in quotation marks about Marcus. I'm going to hope. I know that's not the case, but I'm going to hope. With just a couple more corners to go, we had a full pace lap here, so it's going to be a little bit of a while. It gives these drivers plenty of time to warm up these tires. Hopefully, we'll make for a fantastic start to the race here. Let's see if I can hit the grid cam once more. Marcus, they accidentally deleted it. Whoops. You did accidentally delete it when the message retracted. I believe Marcus is set to be pretty successful here if he's able to keep it out of trouble. We'll have to see, though. Looking at the leaders of LMP2 right now. GT3s are a little bit ways back. You can see Marcus there sitting 4th overall, which can be fantastic stuff. Tom Leeson right behind him in file, so 2 cars behind him overall. So all these drivers get ready to go racing here in just a moment's time. The pace truck should be getting off here pretty soon if he hasn't already. There he goes, pulling in right now. So we'll hit this lovely grid cam. We're going to see the green flag. Barney's waiting, but it is glitching just a little bit. Let me see if I can show you that cool glitch there. As he holds it high, gets it ready, and it's green flag, and they are away. Great launch for most of those drivers. I think Nate Sides has a fantastic one. Mitch Bonaventura also on a great launch there. GT3 is flying just behind. Also 3-4 wide. As we jump to the front of the field, Jonathan Swartz going on the outside. We're going to see, I believe that was Nick Terrell flying. No, not Nick Terrell. Nate Sides, unfortunately, out in the grass. Justin Hall also listed as crashed here in the beginning. We'll see. Oh, we got a bunch of pileups further down the field. Chris Wells, I saw also going backwards. Luke Plaisance also wrapped up in that early incident for the LMP2s. We'll have to take a look back at some of these here. It's going to be, I think, a little bit hard to keep up with. Kevin Hayes ended up getting a great launch here. Jonathan Schwartz losing out to Tyler Roberts at one point. I wonder if he got a bad exit out of turn numbers 5 and 6. Marcus Osborne, also unfortunately, I think one of the drivers who had an incident early on, along with Justin Hall. He was able to get it back together a little bit. See him rejoin in the GT3 AMs pretty squarely. Luke Plaisance getting around the final couple GT3s to get back into the pack of GT3 drivers, which are just up ahead. See Tim Schaefer there as the car, the camera tries to figure out what it's supposed to be doing there. And the leaders are all within a couple seconds of each other, with the exception of Kevin Hayes, who is 2 seconds ahead. Oh, Jonathan Schwartz having to get forced out wide. It's going to put him further back in the field. He's been having a rough first lap here. Kevin Hayes still holding the lead into lap number 1. Tyler Roberts in second. Patrick Cantrell, Ian Baker, Jonathan Schwartz are your top 5 in LMP2. Jesse Olsen is up 3 positions and takes over the lead of GT3 Pro. I wonder what happened there. Let's go back and look at what happened to Justin Hall here. We're in to lap number 1 on the grass there for Justin Hall. I wonder if he hits the brakes on the curbing here and just loses it. We'll see here. Hits the brakes. Tries to stay out of the way. Oh, Marcus Osborne, no. Yeah, Marcus Osborne, unfortunately, collecting there, and both of them, I think, sliding separate directions. That is what's happened with there. Shane Brown, labeled as crashed as well, further back in the field. Of course, as I'm looking at this, we have other incidents happening involving Shane Brown as well as Tim Schaefer, who I think has had an off-track, a pretty lengthy one. We'll take a look at that one real quick. Ooh, into turns number, I believe this is 5 and 6 again? 4 and 5, excuse me. Gets loose there. And we'll see that car go flying back the wrong direction, but keeps it out of the wall. Yes, he does. Awesome. So he'll be able to get that car going back in the right direction. Let's take a look back at our leaders here. The Jesse Olsen still holding ahead of Olivier. Oliver. 1-2. And Kevin Hayes still leading off LMP2, a whole 3 seconds ahead of Tyler Roberts, Patrick Cantrell, that team of Project Zoomies in P2 and P3. Holding it down there. Ian Baker as well as John Schwartz, still the top 5 for all those drivers. Shane Brown has jumped to the pits. Charles Rhodes also listed as jumped to the pits. We'll see what happened there. Oh, that is a incident that is already in... Oh, no, oh, God. Okay, we missed something here. Let's see if I can find Jordan Oliver is listed as crashed. Was this all on the same lap? No. No, this was a separate incident. This is where Charles Rhodes went off track, Jordan Oliver went off track. Let's see. Oh, so there's a spin there. Let's see if I can back it up. Oh, there's an incident there. Let's see if I can. Let's see. So, Charles Rhodes gets spun. Oh, gets taken out. All right, sorry, we're going through this real quick. Gets taken out by a spinning Aston Martin. Then collects Shane Brown as well as Marcus Osborne and oh my gosh, and Kyle Orbetz. Excuse me. No, not Kyle Orbetz. No, I did right. Wesley Waddell was the initial driver in that. Jordan Oliver, I believe that was. Yes, it was. All 4 of those drivers taking the tow for damage. Tyler Roberts holding down P2 about a second ahead of his teammate Patrick Cantrell. I'm back to live, trying to see what else is going on. Ken Duvall also labeled as crashed in this. See what happened here. With Tom Leeson on the outside here. I wonder if he just gets loose. Yeah, he loses it trying to make that rotation back the other direction to turn number 3 and bumps into Shane Brown there. Both of them losing their front noses, but Shane just gets his reattached. But that looks like that car is not happy, and he parks it to not cause issues there. Excuse me, Jordan. No. All right. GT3. It's going to see Jesse Olsen and Olivier duking it out once more as these drivers keep their battles going, as well as the likes of Justin Hall, Andre Saba, and Michael Doyen, to a lesser extent Matt Markley as well. Let's see if I can ride along with Matt Markley, see what he sees in that cockpit as he is moving towards, hopefully to catch up to these drivers, get involved in that battle for what it would be essentially P4 between those 3 drivers. Kevin Medina kind of on his own, about 3 seconds behind Olivier, and about a little ways ahead of about 3 seconds ahead of Michael Doyen as well. Let's see here. Chris Kraus having an off track as well as Charles Rhodes, I think, is back out. Yes, back out, doing his best to get caught up with the rest of the field. Adam Dahl right ahead of him, trying to get him, see what he can do to help him out. As teammates, Andre Saba and Justin Hall duking it out. And diving into LMP2, Josh Harless as well as Kelvin Collado. The 2 of them were at the tail end of the field, still hanging out with each other, trying to keep this battle going and keep themselves both moving up the order. They're currently sitting in 8th and 9th as we get into the 7-minute marker. We are only 7 minutes ahead. Mitch Ventura just ahead both of these drivers, about 2 seconds, trying to see what time he can make up. Already up 2 positions. Then John Schwartz is just ahead of Tyler Roberts, getting his way back around in that Mercedes liveried LMP2. And then Patrick Cantrell also hanging out with them as well. The top 3 as they started at this point in LMP2. Jesse Olsen picking up 2 spots to pick up the GT3 Pro lead. And Tom Leeson is going to be holding off the GT3 AM lead from Chris Kraus, who we talked to in between the races. who had an off track just a moment ago, but it looks like it was just an off track trying to push hard to catch up and keep up with Tom Leeson. Tim Schaefer there trying to get around that traffic and get back into his own fight. Been having a bit of a rough one after that spin that sent him all the way down to the back of the GT3 order in order to not cause issues. Joshua Harless, Kelvin Collado about to run too wide. As Kelvin Collado pushes deep, it's going to be set up for the over-under with Josh Harless. Harless is going to have to tuck in behind, make use of the draft. Two of them keeping themselves well ahead. Mitch Ventura getting around both of them and trying to chase down Ian Baker, which he has done so pretty successfully. We're going to see those two duke it out a little bit more as they get going. Oh, yeah, Mitch going to do his best not to get into the rear end of that Spike liveried LMP2. Top 5 separated by over a second. First battle on track in terms of positions. It's going to be these two right here. And Jason Larson also getting chased down by Luke Plaisance. Or excuse me, Joe Evers being chased down by Jason Larson. And Luke Plaisance just a second behind both of them. Charles Rotes, his night going from not great to worse. We'll see what happened here as he comes around the final corner. This third chicane before the second 180. Oh, and just too much rotation, too fast. Keeps that car, I think, out of the wall. Yes, he does. So we can keep that car going the right direction. Just a rough race for him as he gets that car going the right direction once more. Olivier hounding Jesse Olsen for the lead of GT3 Pro. We're going to ride on board as these two duke it out a little bit with Olivier. And that GT3 sounds of cars and engines is going to be a telltale sign these two drivers are pushing and using all that track limits. You can hear that curbing being utilized by the driver from the inside of this car as they are working their way through. We got Olivier trying not to run into the rear of Jesse Olsen. Has to force that car out wide to keep it from becoming a problem as they continue to duke it out. You can see that car just dip behind that GT3. We see if the over-under happens here. It looks like it's a great run for Olivier. Jesse Olsen kind of have to figure out how he can do what he can do here. Holds the inside line, is planning to force Olivier to go to the outside. You can see Jesse just hugging that inside line, forcing Boulanger to go around the long way, which is going to force him probably to yield that position, but he brakes really late, goes in super deep, keeps that door open. The two of them are going to go too wide through turn number 1. Olivier's holding out, trying to keep that position, and eventually gets it done. Jesse Olsen going to have to see that position. Finally, a fantastic set of moves there from Olivier as he gets that car going in the right direction, but Jesse Olsen not going to take it lying down. He's going to be sitting there right behind him waiting for the mistake to happen. Mitch Buenaventura still hanging out with Ian Baker. And we have many more. Andre Sabra and Michael Doyen duking it out. Justin Hall, I think, getting around both of them. He's just up the road, getting passed by Tim Schaefer, which is not a for position, please, but for overall position as Tim Schaefer's working his way back up the order. You can see LMP2 leading off this set of cars here. Whew, all right, we'll take a break. Take a breather. Not really a break, but a quick breath. Take a quick sip of water. Oh. All right. Tyler Roberts, Patrick Cantrell, going to be both within about a second of each other as well. Mitch Ventura still hounding Ian Baker, trying to get this pass done, but can't seem to get it. Both of them closing down on Sean Roberts, who is just up the road. If we look from kind of the, not quite the rear, but the, there we go. The hood, not really hood, but roof cam. You can see those two cars in that battle for what is essentially P6, just behind Sean Roberts, who's still in 5th right here. And you can see all of them duking out for position there as they are working their way through once more. You see that battle between the two of them. They get it sorted out. Wesley Waddell, GT3 AM driver, going to be involved in this. I move back to watch the battle just specifically between them. We're now on the roof of Ian Baker. See, Mitch is trying to bide his time, look for that moment to make the pass. See where he makes it happen. He decides to tuck in behind Ian Baker. But sees if he can't keep that door, put his nose on the inside there. But no dice as they both come ripping out of the final corner. And Mitch is going to be forced to go the long way around. Watch them two from one of the blimp cams here. Let's see if I can do the zoomed in one. Too wide as these two go into the turn number one. Mitch is on the outside. Ian Baker still has the inside, but Mitch finally gets the job done by just ripping around the outside with that prototype, leveraging that downforce that these cars have over the raw speed. Let's try to see if he can't get himself further up the order. John Schwartz 8 seconds ahead of Tyler Roberts at this point, who is still 3 seconds behind Kevin Hayes. See the flashing there as Kevin Hayes lets, I believe that was Kyle Orbetz, know that he is going to be passed. That is Kyle Orbetz. And then Adam Dahl just ahead of both of them, as well as the lap traffic of Jordan Oliver amongst them. Ian Baker now being hunted by Kelvin Collado as he tries to make up the time lost there. That battle for the lead, or excuse me, not the lead, but P6. Tyler Roberts slowly being caught every now and then by Patrick Cantrell, who still sits within about a second of his teammate. Matt Markley, Michael Doyen also coming into a battle here. McLaren versus Porsche in the GT3 Pro category. This is going to be for essentially the last finishing spot for the GT3 Pro drivers. 7 pros out there tonight, and then another 11 GT3 AM drivers for a total of 18. Second math. And 7 plus 11 is 18. Let's see here. Looking at a couple things. Ooh. Big moment there. Thankfully recovered before anything too bad can happen there. Seeing Sean Roberts slowly being caught by Mitch Bonaventura as well. Kevin Hayes being slowed by traffic, which puts Jonathan Schwartz just behind him. I say just. About 2 seconds behind him. And Mitch Bonaventura finding the time now that he's free of Ian Baker to try to get around Sean Roberts. Sean Roberts in the GT4s last time, but finds himself in the LMP2. And the two of them are now going head to head. Let's see if I can ride along board with Mitch Bonaventura. See how he handles this and see if he can get around Sean Roberts as effectively as he did with Ian Baker just a little while ago. Seems like he's locked in for the moment as they get around a little bit of traffic. But not far behind him is Ian Baker, Kelvin Collado, two of them also duking it out. See the Mitch Bonaventura, Sean Roberts going too wide. Sean Roberts has the inside line. Mitch has the faster line on the outside, but Sean is sticking it in, not letting him. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. And Sean Roberts forced out wide as that contact happens. Mitch Bonaventura getting around as a result. But they're going to put him in the grass, or they say the grass, the gravel. We'll see what comes of that. If he's able to keep that car moving in the right direction, a little bit of contact there. Not the way I think Sean would want that pass to happen, but we'll see. There is still 13 minutes left of racing action here this evening as we get to the second half of the race. And we stick around to see Luc Plaisance trying to get past Joshua Harless. And then as well, Jesse and Olivier running too wide down the start-finish stretch. A great run from Jesse Olsen is going to see him end up in the lead of this. But we'll see if Olivier does the similar path he's taken previously. Runs a little wide there. That's going to push him. And he's going to come back in. It's the way you take it when you're in the GT3 category. You have that late apex almost for that turn number 1. Any of these big open hairpins that we see on this track, of the 3 of them, it's kind of the way you want to run it. A little bit wide on entry and then tighten it up as you make that rotation throughout the corner. But it's going to see him lose a little bit of time behind Jesse Olsen, as those tires are probably pretty warm. He's been pushing pretty hard to try to keep up and get past Jesse Olsen. We'll see if that is coming back to bite him now that those tires are, I think, had their fill. So Matt Markley, Michael Doyen as well, still in a battle as for P6 of GT3 Pro. Then Kevin Medina and Justin Hall, I think, are getting into a little bit of a battle. We'll see how that develops here in a moment. Oh, big touch of the gravel for Michael Doyen. I think is going to keep this battle pretty close as they get into the Arrabbiata 1 and 2. A fantastic pair of corners. More gravel for Michael Doyen, and I think that's going to be racking up those incident points. If you touch the gravel for these cars, it does, I believe, classify as an off-track, which may mark those up. Kevin Hayes trying to make his way around traffic. John Schwartz right behind him as a result. These two trying not to get into Michael Doyen as a result. Trying to figure out how to get around him. The two of them stuck behind means that battle is going to keep going for the lead of LMP2. John Schwartz coming from falling back to 5th, coming back up into 2nd. Getting a bad line here through the final corner, but that's a spun Andre Saba that Kevin had to dodge. Just going to keep that battle still within a second of between these two drivers. As the battles continue up and down the field between the leaders in class as well as the leaders overall. GT3M, I haven't spoken about them a whole lot since the beginning of this race. Pretty spread out from 1st down to 8th. And a couple more have been marked as DNFs, as they have retired from the race. Still keeping up with this battle for 1st in LMP. I'm going to hop back a little bit and see Nate Terrell and Jason Larson go too wide through the start-finish stretch to try to get that pass done for position P12. These two drivers involved in incidents earlier has kept them at this spot. Nick Terrell early on getting that turn 1 spin. And then all those drivers as well. A little bit of gravel touch there as they are driving. Jonathan Schwartz slowly reeling in. Kevin Hayes once again as they catch up to the leaders of GT3. Oh, John Schwartz running a little wide there. Trying to get that rotation in. Keeps him right behind. Tim Schaefer in for a black flag drive-through penalty. He'll be the first of our drivers, I think, tonight to do it. Jordan Oliver, I think, is going to be our second, who is still in pit lane for the evening. See all of them get through. We're seeing the battle here. Justin Hall and Kevin Medina also caught up in this fight between these two drivers for the lead of LMP2. Kevin Hayes going to run around the long way, which is going to open the door for John Schwartz because he ends up running really slow. And these two are going to go too wide through turn number 2. Oh, it's going to be a too wide through turn number 2 and 3. John Schwartz lifting to not hit Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes pushing out, using all that available room. Is going to keep himself in the lead for the moment. And then we're going to see how they fare as they get through turns number 4 and 5 and down the lovely technical second sector. Kevin Medina trying not to get run into by John Schwartz, trying to give him plenty of space. It's always an awkward spot being on the outside of a GT3 in a prototype. Those two don't often mix super well together, but they kept it going. That gap opened back up to 0.7 of a second, and we'll close back down here as traffic once again becomes an issue. When they get to the leaders of the class, Jesse and Olivier, who are still battling it out just ahead of them, past that open hand hairpin. You can see them in the background, Kevin and Jonathan. Whew. All right. Keeping up on all the other fights. Basically a three-way battle as well between Tyler Roberts, Patrick Cantrell, and Mitch Bonaventura, as well as Kelvin Collado. Both of those drivers finding themselves in a fight with Patrick Cantrell and Tyler Roberts for the final spot on the podium. Oh, they go too wide through turn number 1. Jesse Olson, Olivier still duking it out. These two have been a fantastic battle for this lead of the race that's been trading hands as they both get great runs down the start-finish stretch, and then it's basically who can make the better exit. Olivier has a terrible run here. Jesse pushes it too wide. It's going to slow them both down considerably, which may become an interesting factor here for the battle for the lead of LMP2. I'll have to see how that plays out here in just a moment. The two of them are rapidly closing on the 2 leaders of GT3 Pro. I'm keeping up with the GT3 Pro drivers for the moment because I get the feeling we'll watch those LMP2 drivers pass them at some point here in the near future. 5 minutes and a little bit of change left on the clock as they get ready to go through the last couple corners. Kevin Hayes making a big lunge up the inside. John Schwartz cut off by Jesse Olson, not intentionally. Jesse Olson just trying to take his line. John Schwartz has to figure out how to get around him. Chooses to do so. Both of them having to go around the outside of GT3 drivers. And John Schwartz getting caught up there, causing a bit of a slowdown for these two drivers as they all keep going. Oh, Olivier having to lift to not hit. John will also put these two back into contention. Too wide as Jesse Olson dives down the inside to try to hold on to the lead of the race. Two of them running too wide there. Will make for an interesting exit. They both have the speed, but the better line goes to Olivier for the moment. But now Jesse has the draft with just under 5 minutes. I believe we got 3 laps to go this time by, including this one. Interesting to see how this all plays out. These two, I think, the battle to watch. Though Kevin Medina and Justin Hall right behind them also might be an interesting one to take a quick eye on. As they run too wide, Kevin Medina forcing Justin Hall around the long way. As he still holds on to P, the third step of the podium. Let's right up on board with Justin Hall in this Mercedes. Again, so many front engine cars in this race for GT3 Pro. Taking a quick dive onto the onboard to get a feel for what it's like to be in these intense battles between all these drivers. Nothing has simmered down even a bit. I'm going to hop in. We're going to dive from one onboard to another onboard here. Mitch Bonaventura. Been riding on board with him a little bit this evening in a couple different spots. But seeing the two drivers he's trying to look to pass before the end of this race, Patrick Cantrell and likely Tyler Roberts, as he runs. Oh, that was a very slow exit, though, because he had to. Car is not super happy with him. I think he has overcooked the tires. I might be giving a little bit of streamer's curse, too. I'm going to hop out of that car then and let him do his thing. Ian Baker, Luc Poisson's duking it out for 8th in class. Jonathan and Kevin Hayes duking it out for the final spot, trying to break the draft. Two of them swapping spots. I wonder if there was a lockup from Kevin Hayes just a moment ago. Let's take a quick look, if I can, in a reasonable time frame. Let's see if I can hit this button. Oh, yeah. Kevin Hayes running very wide there, trying to not get hit. I think that was... Yeah, trying to not... Ran wide. Oh. Kevin Hayes diving down the inside, forcing Charles Rhodes to avoid and take evasive action. Kevin Hayes also way too fast into that. We'll see him in second as John Schwartz has got around him. But the two of them now in a very tight battle for the lead of LMP2. Jesse Olson finally losing a little bit of ground to Olivier as they get into the closing stages. Also talking about overheated tires. I think it's another battle that has that. Patrick Cantrell and... Oh, this race has officially become a night race. Tom Leeson getting pushed wide, trying to not hit Patrick Cantrell and Tyler Roberts. Those two are battling for the final position of the podium. as we get into these closing stages. Sean Roberts, Luke Plaisance, Sean Roberts and Kelvin Collado also in a block battle. Oh, Tom Leeson having to take evasive maneuvers there. Once again, not get hit by LMP2s. Kevin Medina and Justin Hall. Kevin Medina getting a little bit of a break there as a result of LMP2 traffic coming in between the two of them in their fight. Joe Evers, Nick Terrell. Oh, Joe Evers, I think, had a bit of a moment there. Nick Terrell got around without too much issue. We'll see if that was an unfortunate accident or something else there. GT3s, pretty spread out. LMP2s in a variety of battles happening right now as we get into the closing stages. Joe Evers also has a black flag penalty. Joshua Harless getting passed by Nick Terrell as Nick Terrell lunges up the inside. And Joshua Harless is trying to see what he can recover. We are probably, I think, going to be on the final lap this time by. See if I can go to the grid here, see what the grid says. White flag is out for these drivers. Yes, it is the final lap this time by for the LMP2s, as well as everybody else. Wesley Waddell getting passed by these two drivers. Kevin Hayes trying to keep up the fight as they get through the last couple corners. This is the last opportunity for Kevin Hayes to make a pass for the win. He was passed the similar passion a couple laps ago in the sprint at Monza. We're going to see if he has any more luck here as he comes through the last couple corners. That's going to be a wide line for John Schwartz. That's going to bring him close within 0.3, but a little bit of shake there as he tries to do the power down. Is going to see that gap open back up to 0.4. And we see these two cars 21 seconds ahead of Tyler Roberts and Patrick Cantrell, who are duking out for the other podium spot. Final corner, final hairpin, and John Schwartz has an equivalent run to Kevin Hayes. Let's go see John Schwartz taking home the win of this race. See that checker flag, Barney flying in the air. Kevin Hayes coming home second. 20 seconds behind them, and technically in between them is going to be the battle between Jesse and Olivier, which is opened up to a second. So I think, unfortunately, it's going to be the battle there over and done with. Kevin Hayes, Justin Hall going to be battling it out. Ian Baker trying to get around both of them. Justin Hall lunging up the inside. Kevin Medina saying, no, we're teammates. Why are you doing that? And we'll see if he can hold on to it. Better exit for Justin Hall, though. This might be a close one. Kevin Medina blocking off the finish there. I was going to see Kevin Medina by a 10th beat out Justin Hall for P3 on the podium. And in GT3 AM, Chris Kraus, the individual we saw, have a bit of a rough race in Monza, coming home looking to be a pretty solid finisher for GT3 AM, ahead of Chris Wells and Adam Dahl, also finding his way onto the podium after an unfortunate series of events at the beginning of the race spread out the GT3 AM field pretty far, pretty wildly, I should say. Chris Wells also coming home in second. I think I said that already, but I'll say it again. The rest of the field pretty much coming to the checkered flag and have already finished the race's last driver to do so is going to probably be Kyle Orovets in P number 4 of GT3 AM. Whew. A busy 30 minutes here at Mugello. Far more than we got in the... Oh boy. Looking at a picture from Marcus Osborne, who had the cat step on the monitor there, or step on the position there. So, getting into things here as we do. Let's see here. Look at the results of the race, the second sprint race. It's going to see Jonathan Schwartz taking home the win alongside Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes twice the bridesmaid, the maid of honor, I guess. Never the bride. Speaking of, let's drag Kevin Hayes in the booth here. See how he's doing. Kevin Hayes, welcome to the booth.
Hello.
How are you this evening, sir?
I'm good. I came in second by a combined 0.7 seconds tonight.
Yes.
So between race 1 and race 2, that was my margin to try to get a win. Almost threw this one away. I don't know if you caught.
I think I did.
When I almost murdered
when you
Sauce.
when you almost murdered Sauce. Poor
Yeah,
Charles Rhodes, who was just trying to take his corner, and you almost.
Well, so here's the thing. Earlier in the lap, we were coming up on lap traffic, and I was slowing down to go behind the guy, and he broke really early, stayed right, and like gave the apex to me, which was unexpected with the closing speed. So I just dove the inside. Yeah. So as I'm approaching Charles, it looks like he's doing the same thing. So I throw the car in there, thinking he's staying wide, and then all of a sudden there's a chrome Porsche getting mighty close to the right side of my vehicle. So I came completely off the brakes to try to like roll past him, and then I saw him jink right, and then I had to get back on him, and that gave John obviously the opportunity to come by me. I have a feeling John probably would have got me either way.
I think it would be closer
because if he hadn't passed me that lap, we still would have caught where he got caught up in the fast right-hander on the last lap.
Yep.
And I think even if he hadn't passed me yet, he would have got me there if I was the leader, where I didn't stay close enough to him to give myself an opportunity.
Yeah.
I think he would have been on my ass there. So all in all, 2 great races. Monza was a little bit of chaos, a few lockups. Me and Mitch were pushing, if you couldn't tell.
Oh, I saw both of you pushing. You both had moments there that I was really worried the cars were going to lose it.
Yeah, there's some squirrely moments. There's some squirrely moments here for me too. Definitely wasn't expecting to be on the pace of John Schwartz whatsoever. I mean, he's double my I rating, so I'm happy with the P2 by half a second. But he's messaging me right now.
Oh boy.
Traffic here is sketchy as hell. I will say that.
Yes. Yep.
I understand why they probably don't do this in real life.
Does
European Le Mans race here?
Not European Le Mans, but the Creventic Series races here.
Are those LMP2s?
No, but it's like pretty much every other GT type. So.
Okay. See, that's fine. I was thinking like European Le Mans Series unrestricted LMP2s here with GT3s. Someone would die. Like that's the closing speed in some of these corners is terrifyingly quick, particularly that double right hand uphill.
Yeah,
the LMP2s are almost flat on fresh tires there.
Yeah,
like we were barely lifting. It was like 70% throttle back on the gas, just hanging it in 4th gear and letting it rip. And the closing speeds going up that hill were terrifying because there's one line. You're done if you're offline. So, what a track! I love Mugello.
So
we're staying in Italy next week.
Yes. Our first endurance race.
We're going to Imola. I don't know how I feel about that.
I think it'll be good. I mean, they race WEC there, so I can't imagine it'll be too much worse.
I know. I hate what's the chicane at the top of the hill? That really tight one.
I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but I know what you're talking about in terms of the
right. You go through Aqua Minerale, go up the hill, and then it's that right left. I despise that corner. I guarantee you, if you could pull up mini splits, I'd be on the pace everywhere else on that track, and then I'd lose like half a second in there.
Yeah.
I hate that corner. But it's fun. LMP2s are great everywhere. I love this car. Such a good car.
Yeah. It's so good. I'm so excited with the turnout we're having this season of the LMP2. It's like
we had what, 15, 16 tonight?
15. 16 if you include a one Fennicini that didn't remember to not hit the register instead of spectate on Monza.
And then 20 GT3s. I mean, that's like a full ELMS grid size-wise.
Yeah.
35, 40 cars. I mean, I'll take that every day of the week. I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to go watch the broadcast after this, I feel. I need to go watch those races back just to see.
I was definitely hauling when it came to the Mugello, trying to keep up with everything, because that one was you and...
Well, I heard the GT3s were going crazy too.
Oh, yeah. You and John were duking it out at the tip of the LMP2, and then Jesse Olsen, Olivier in GT3s were just constantly going. Justin Hall for a while there.
Oh, yeah. We came up on them when they were side by side.
Yeah.
Me and John were coming up to them, and I see them side by side through the first couple corners. I'm like, this is gonna suck. This is not gonna be fun because it's both battles for the lead. It happened in we were passing the battle for the lead during our battle for the lead on the last lap at
in Monza too.
At Monza. So
that was a 3-way fight.
It seems it seems to be that the percentage difference of speed of these cars over 30 minutes is like exactly 1 lap between leaders. So that's going to make some interesting last laps for the rest of the season if that continues to be a trend.
Yeah, I think it's about 30 minutes for the fastest of each class to catch one another.
Yeah, it's going to be please tell me we're not at like Long Beach this season. Hold on, I'm pulling the schedule up.
We have I think it's another season of nothing but bangers. We go to Red Bull Ring and Hungaroring. Those two might get a little bit weird, especially with the rain. That'll be interesting. Spa, Motegi, and then Suzuka. That's gonna be a fun one for me. Fuji, which I think will be fun for specifically the prototype drivers.
Thank God I get to miss Fuji. Is it Fuji with the chicane? It's Fuji with the chicane. Cool. I'm on my honeymoon that week. Fuck that track.
Wow. Congratulations, and glad that you're missing the one race you don't want to go to.
I am not upset at all that it's so unfortunate I can't make Fuji Fen. Let me tell you, that has to be one of my drop weeks.
Oh man.
And then I get to come back to Mexico and Coda. Yeah. Okay. This is. As an admin, I should know our schedule, but here I am going, this will be finalized.
Yeah. And then you end up the season at Le Mans in the rain.
Yeah, I know. I'm not happy about that being the rain race, but hey, it'll be fun. That'll be an exciting race.
Le Mans rain is great. It's good fun.
They're all going to be exciting races. I love, I talked about it enough last season, if anyone remembers, just how much I love the LMP2. So,
you know why you're not in the booth this season, and that is okay.
Well, I was hoping to get the booth a P1 finish tonight, but Mitch and John had other ideas for me. So
that is okay. We have next week. We have the whole season for you to pull out the win for the booth. So.
Is it no one else online? There's no one else here.
Yeah, I think everybody else dipped. So.
Oh.
Salvage nothing of Tom Leeson. So. I'll wrap up the live stream for folks. So. Congrats again on your double podiums.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I will see you next week.
Alrighty, I'll see you in 7 days' time.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, take care. Kevin Hayes coming home, P2 back-to-back. We'll see him there. We're going to hop into those results real quick. I didn't really do this for Monza. Forgive me. Once again, shaking off the rust, getting this back in the saddle. John Schwartz going to take on that win ahead of Kevin Hayes, who we just talked to. Tyler Roberts rounding out that podium just ahead of Patrick Cantrell. Mitch Ventura is going to round up your top 5 there. Kelvin Collado, Sean Roberts, Luke Plaisance, Ian Baker, Nick Torello, your top 10. Nate Sides, Jason Larson, Joe Evers, and Joshua Harless are your 14 drivers that finished on the lead lap. And then Tim Schaefer was the last driver who also finished just a lap down. Almost made his way back through the LMP or the GT3 field. Tim Schaefer did after his incident early on that caused him to fall back. In GT3 Pro, we're going to see a shorter list here. Olivier Boulanger. That's how I'm going to say that until Olivier corrects me. I didn't see him in the booth or in a chat that I could go to and ask him. So I'll see if I can. If he tells me that I've done it wrong, then I'll live with it. We'll take home the win there, back to back, if I remember correctly, ahead of Jesse Olsen. Kevin Medina rounds out the podium there, just ahead of Justin Hall by a 10th and some change. A fast drive, both of them drag racing out of the final corner to the finish line there. Matt Markley and Andre Saba Matt Markley are the top 5. Andre Saba and Michael Doyen round out the 7 drivers that take home the checkered flag. for GT3 Pro. GT3 AM, our final group of the evening. Oh, we don't have a LMP Pro AM split, which is fine. Just means we have 15 drivers all gunning for positions there. Chris Kraus going to take home that win ahead of Chris Wells. And Chris Kraus we talked to earlier this evening. Adam Dahl is going to round out your podium. Another fantastic drive for Adam there. Kyle Orbetz, Wesley Waddell, your top 5. Charles Rhodes, Tommy Leeson. I'm going to keep saying Tommy. Tom Leeson, Jordan Oliver, Marcus Osborne, Kenny Duvall, and Shane Brown are your 11 drivers for GT3M. The last 4 of which I believe do not take the checkered flag, and 7 that do. So with that, we're going to round out the stream here and call it an evening. Thank you all very much for watching. I've been Fettuccini, bringing you all the action from the booth. Next week, we go to... Not here. Where do we go? We just talked about it, but I'm going to double check. Where the heck do we go? We go to Imola. We literally just talked about it. We go to Imola. Oh my gosh. All right. I need to go to bed. All right. So we'll see you all next week for Imola, another lovely Italian race at the fancy and fast Autodromo Internazionale, Internazionale Enzo E. Dino Ferrari, or more as it's colloquially known, Imola. So thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you all in 7 days' time, back at Tuesday around 7:45 to get us underway for another fantastic week. Endurance next week, so 90 minutes of straight racing action with 0 breaks, except for maybe a yellow flag. We'll see. Until then, I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.